raised to.
It's Wednesday, 4th of March. Welcome to the Rich and Piers Show. We've had some interesting headlines over the morning. Certainly, the bounce occurred yesterday. It just didn't really sell off again, did it?
No.
So let's look straight at what we've got. We're going to talk about Plug because, oh yes, that came good yesterday. The stock that we bought live on the show yesterday finished up 24%. And this morning, I think it's even a bit higher. Then we're going to talk about Hims and Hers.
Hims and Hers, Novo, FDA.
We're going to talk about software versus semi. We got a question last night, which we're going to go into. Thank you for that one. We're going to talk about Moderna looking up 8%. We're going to talk about CoreWeave looking up 6%. We also managed to buy some of them yesterday afternoon. And then, let's start off with the headlines this morning. What's the latest update on War Watch?
Yeah, let's start at the top, shall we, Richie? Get into the stocks in a minute, but we need to work out what's driving the stocks from a macro point of view. And listen, every day, every hour that ticks by, we edge closer to, in my opinion, the inevitable result here.
You think?
That's my view has been from the very beginning.
What is the inevitable?
The inevitable result is that the people who are trying to get this finished really quickly are 100x the people who aren't.
Yeah.
And yes, Iran can say whatever they want to say, and they can fire rockets and drones, and they can cause a scene, and they still are doing that. But none of us know what the back channels conversations are. And if you listen to the New York Times earlier on, you hear that there's part of the administration, whichever part that is keen to come to the table. Then you hear Pete.
Did you read the article? Because I
read the headlines.
It's behind the paywall, right?
Yeah.
So I couldn't read the whole article. Of course, the future's moved on this. But to me, it's past tense.
Yeah, I agree.
Say that they are in talks. It says that they made talks.
Also, it's the New York Times as well, mate. So,
and it's the New York Times.
So when I see a headline like that, because you and I have been doing this for a long time, when I see a headline like that, I take it with an enormous pinch of salt. I got more interested to hear what Pete Hegseth has got to say 30 minutes after, where he basically said, which is the polar opposite, by the way, to what that New York Times article said.
Let's look at the futures as that article came out. You can see it was around 10 a.m. So we were trading 6,813. Of course, people know about the article beforehand. We all know as that happens. But you can see the spike up here. So this was the spike. And then it gets distributed, right? We got people sending it out. Piers sent it to me at 10:40. So that was, we were then at 6,830. Then we sold off, and we're now at 6,838. So that's the story of the morning so far. What happens next, Piers Buckworth?
Yeah, so that is the headline news, but then we hear from a slightly more reputable source, you would imagine, Pete Hegseth, who's obviously trying to guide us as to the sentiment their end. Of course, this is a military operation, so we're not going to get anything. Yep. But what we are going to get is a rough indication of where their head is at, I suppose. And their head is it's very clear, right? I mean, listen, they've said very clearly, consistently over the last 6 days, they've said we are committed to this. We'll take as long as we want. We're going to send in more troops. That's a direct quote from Pete Hegseth this afternoon. And most importantly, and I thought this was the most interesting takeaway, we will shortly completely control the skies with Israel. Once they control the skies, remember our last time. I mean, listen. I don't know what it looks like on the ground, but this is. I just can't see how this is prolonged for much longer. I can't see how it's possible. Listen, it might be, but everything's pointing in that direction. Oil is rolling over, equities are firming up. We might get another headline that might throw a spanner in those works. But that's kind of. I've been reducing my hedges. Yesterday, I wasn't quite as convinced as you that market was going to sell off again, but also I'm staring at the price action, so I kind of was just playing it by the price action. And I kind of got longer and had a great day yesterday, but today I've taken more hedges off based on the information we have.
Well, tell you what, let's do a poll then. Let's see what the people think, because Mr. Harry is jumping in and saying there's plenty time left in this conflict. So let's phrase the question as, when do we see the conflict end? When do we see this conflict end? Is it in the next 48 hours? Is it by the end of the weekend? Is it by the end of March? Or does it go on for months to come? All right. That is, no, there's no room for only time will tell, producer Phil. That's why I gave you 4 options. So that's your poll, because that obviously is all really the market is moving on. It's all the oil moving on. Let's have a look at where the futures stand this morning then in all of the above. We've got, interestingly, volatility down 1.4. I actually traded that early. I'm not sure if I've still got the position on. Did I cut that? No, so I am short vol now, which is, I think it doesn't feel comfortable to be short vol when there's potentially World War III going on. But I am short £400 a point of vol. Currently trading 21.86. You've got oil. Now, oil's had an interesting 24 hours. Tell us the message you sent me yesterday in the evening about the crude headline.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's 2 critical headlines that happened yesterday. One of which was whilst we were on TV, actually, which is where they, the Trump administration said that they're going to insure the insurers. The Trump administration have said 2 things. They said they're going to give military naval convoy military protection to all the ships coming through the strait. Number 2 is, which by the way, to me sounds like a pretty serious situation. I mean, to have those naval ships next to you, but we'll see how that plays out.
Can you imagine if you're a pilot of the ship and they're going, don't worry, you're insured. Don't forget the missiles and everything that are targeting you.
Yeah, and the second point was the insurance, right? The insurance is critical to this entire equation. All these guys have got war insurance, and the insurance pulled that, which means they had to stop sailing. And Trump said that he's going to figure out a way to make sure that they get insured. And then on top of that, there was another bit of news which is unrelated to that about them shutting down trade with Spain because they wouldn't let them use their bases. But it's all the same thing, though. We can sit here and argue the toss about what happens next, and I have no idea whether this ends today, tomorrow, or the next day. I just.
What, you're not going to do the poll then?
No, I just think it's all a little bit,
or you're in one of those moods today.
You can just the market. I just find it tiring. How many times have we been involved?
Did you sleep last night?
I slept. Well, I tried. I woke up about 5 times throughout the night because I've got a lot going on. I slept loads the night before, but that's not the point. The point is that how many times have we dealt with conflicts in the Middle East, and this one is very dramatic. Probably the most dramatic one we've had in a long time.
Since 2000.
Always going to be the same outcome, mate. There's no economy.
Sorry, if you say it's always going to be the same outcome.
How's it going to be a different outcome?
Do you want to listen?
Yeah.
So 2003, right, we had the problem with Iraq. And 2003, you had boots on the ground. And I remember sitting in my friend's villa in Spain, watching the soldiers move towards Baghdad. And of course, they got to Baghdad and they toppled the famous Saddam statue. And that was it. That was the bottom of the market. And the market rallied for 4 years into 2007. Are you saying that if your quote was, it's the same every time, is it the same as that? That the conflict ends and the market starts going higher, and that's it? That's the last we see of a problem in Iran?
I am worried about getting into this conversation because it's going to involve me giving you my opinions on politics, and I hate.
Okay, well, let's not do that
conversation.
But
because all it's going to do is it's going to spend us getting everyone's emotions high and mine too, and it's not focusing on the market. I think the market. Listen, I can tell you what I think.
This conflict's over sooner?
I think this is going to be a very noisy, very unfortunate, very messy fight that's not going to last for too much longer, and that's because I think Trump is a master of military strategy, and I think that these guys is David versus Goliath, although this is not David versus Goliath. The stakes are too high. We're talking about oil. We're talking about the Strait of Hormuz. I think it's going to be loud. It's going to be potentially bloody. It's very sad. It's very, and I think it's going to be going on for very long. That's my view. But again, my view is irrelevant. I'm going to trade my view. It's working so far. If the news changes, I'll change the positions. But at the moment, it's very clear what the market wants to do. Right? The market is desperate to bounce. Right, and look at Asia, right?
Well,
I mean, what parts of the market are desperate?
This is interesting. Is that the market gets smashed overnight? So is that because
that's quite normal, though, right? I mean, this is a bit dramatized, but in a normal market, where we see a drift lower in the futures overnight. For me, I would say
does that show, for example, China selling? is that because the US are buying the 2 days that we've had, the US have bought it.
Yeah.
And then in Asia, it's come smashing.
And I think that's got a few things there. Number one is that overnight people get slightly optimistic. There's also the structure of the markets is very different in the US, and then everyone goes to sleep and they wake up and there hasn't been any progress. And the futures have drifted low and the volume's shifted, and we've moved to the Asian session, and Asia are experiencing their own completely unique situation. Korea's down 18% off the highs in 3 days.
And you think that's because of crowding?
And I think there's two things going on here. One is the fact that this is 40% of the index is two stocks, Hynix and Samsung, and which have become massively leveraged plays. And here we go again. This is silver.
Chart up.
This silver. It's exactly the same thing that happened to silver. It's a bit different, of course, because it's a different country and it's a different asset class. But it's the same story. It's leverage. The amount of people that have been buying this on leverage, especially in the retail community, is extraordinary.
Oh, really?
Hynix, massive. You should see that. I mean, there's the leverage. The margin calls are massive. So if you throw that on, leveraged bets unwinding, got after a parabolic move. It's just absolute. That's just textbook stuff. On top of the fact that the semiconductor world has as one of its major inputs, you guessed it, petroleum, and there's a lot of concerns now. I mean, listen, that everyone's. We talk about gold and why that potentially sold off, and why the inflation scare has come back as a result of oil. That's what it's all about, of course, and that feeds through into multiple industries. One of which is the semiconductor space and the AI capex story. So if you throw it all into the pie, you can try and weasel out a fundamental reason if you want. If you ask me, if you ask me, it is the world is one big program trade and people and risk management, and Korea is a classic example. Everyone's panicking about the fact it's down 13%. Has anyone seen how much it's gone up? 13% is the equivalent of it going down 3% in another index that hasn't gone parabolic.
Yeah.
So to me, this is just it desperately needed to happen, and there's always something that pushes it to happen. In this case, it was this. Now, the $1 million question, what's happened so far to me is pretty normal. What the big question now is, now what? Is there more unwinding of these positions, or do things calm down? If you look at some of the pre-market action, which of course is never a particularly good indicator in the US, the semiconductors are trying to bounce. SanDisk, of course, which I covered that yesterday. I got out of the way of that. Why did I do that, you may ask? Because I'm aware of the fact that the world is itching to buy this thing under the surface. It's a difficult subject. So I felt like it was a massive win to make money out of this 3 days in a row short. So I'm just getting out of the way, and I'll reassess the situation later. But you've got to remember that the muscle memory in this market is very strong. The retail people are not going to give up buying these stocks, and there's plenty of fundamental reasons still to own them. Yeah. So it's very difficult. It's complicated.
Take any chance to buy them, right?
Yeah, I think so, right? So you've got to be careful. I'm certainly not going to hold on to SanDisk when it's down like 25% off the high.
How did that get on the rest of yesterday?
Well, it closed on the lows. It was a really bad day price action wise. I milked this to death yesterday. I covered it down 6.5. It bounced to 4.5 minus, and sold it again, and then covered it on the close. So it was a really, really fun day trading this stock yesterday. And I can't remember the last time I managed to short a stock that I want to short, and it did that beautiful rolling pattern and close on the lows. But then, of course, it's up 4% pre-market. It's a new day, right? New dawn, new day.
Right. They're back,
and that's why that's why I got out of the way, because if it had gone down 5%, I'd be like, oh, that's annoying. But I'd be much more annoyed if it had gone up 5 and I was still short.
Well, let's talk about the trade of the day yesterday, and that was, of course, me managing to get my hands on some plug.
Yeah.
Plug 205. We got into it. Take us through what happened the rest of the day in that, as people can see from the chart that we're showing there.
Yeah, so, I mean, yesterday, those who were tuned in saw us buy this at 205 on the open, or Rich put it in the book at 205. I bought it in my book at a blended average of 203, I think, whatever it was.
You beat me.
But this was a high conviction situation. In fact, quite frankly, if I waited patiently for the really high conviction trades and only ever traded them, it'd be a very profitable strategy. But all the ducks aligned for this yesterday, and and it's not done, right? Well, obviously, it requires a decent tape to a degree, but I just think the short squeeze here. Look at the price action; it's so squeezy.
If we get a good tape, what does this go up to?
listen, my number that I have in my head for where this should be, if they turn a profit, is 5, maybe 6. In a good tape without that profit already in, but the expectation of a profit, a bit of short squeezing, should be back up to 3.5. You know, quite with relative ease. You've got to remember
huge move.
Did you see the price action? Right, it's so squeezy.
Yeah.
Whilst we were talking, it went up to 22, down to +8, and then within about 10 minutes we were back at +20 again.
Yeah,
that's proper squeezy action. These are people covering their shorts, and there's a lot of them. So I can't imagine that's going to go away anywhere unless the narrative changes anytime soon. So,
right, another stock that's having a move pre-market then is CoreWeave. So CoreWeave, I was speaking to colleague Jack on the deck yesterday, on the desk, and he said, did I see where it was? Now, I haven't looked at CoreWeave for a while, but I certainly think of this stock as mid-80s, right? So to see it trade at 72, that tickled my fancy. So I managed to get some at 72.70, and a little bit lucky this morning that we've got a couple of headlines out, don't we?
yeah, so CoreWeave are in the news today. Those of you wondering why it's up 6%, there's two things going on. Number one is they're teaming up with Perplexity, which is an extension of an existing relationship to power AI. So nothing new there apart from the extension of the agreement, and Goldman Sachs have raised their price target to $85 a share. And of course, what's the chart time frame on that?
So were Goldman's selling it before then?
No, I don't think it was a double upgrade. I think it was just a price target raise. But what's the
Goldman's a hold.
They're still hold?
They're hold.
They've gone hold to buy, have they?
Well, no, it says they're maintaining their hold.
That wasn't the headline that I read.
On the 3rd of the 3rd.
Wait up, mate. Wait. Cool. Here we go. I've got my Bloomberg here. We're all good. Right. Anyway, whilst we're looking this up, so that's, you know, and this is another one that's part of the sort of leveraged data center plays along with Oracle. Although it hasn't got nearly as much as a negative attention as Oracle, the CDS hasn't really moved too much. But the stock itself is kind of at the bottom of an interesting range here. I mean, listen, let's have a look at this. They have, yeah, I mean, look, it's a very interesting range. I mean, 1, 2, 3, almost 4 times it's tested 70. Yeah. Just where are we? 70, actually not 70. What am I talking about? 60, 62. Yeah. So it's not a perfect. I mean, it's been making higher lows, but it almost made a lower low. So it's a bit of a dodgy chart, quite frankly. I'm not touching this stock. It's very expensive. They've got a very dodgy balance sheet. It's all over the shop. The technicals need a lot of work, and it's a headache I don't need in my life right now.
So should we take a quick profit on it?
Yeah, we've got a long in it, don't we? Yeah. I mean, yeah. If we're long, then I'd book that, mate.
Yeah.
I don't think the news today is very exciting. I mean, Goldman's upgrade is a bit of a yeah.
No, it's on the Perplexity deal.
Yeah, but exactly right. Perplexity deal. It's not really a deal though. They've already done the deal. It's just an extension of the deal. But yeah, I mean, it's positive news.
Headline is,
if the tape's good, it might get up 8% today. That's my thought.
CoreWeave signs a multi-year deal with Perplexity to support its inference workloads. As part of the deal, CoreWeave will also roll out Perplexity Enterprise Max across its organization. Shall we put an offer in then? You think it's up 8% max. So why don't we, as you can see, using the IG platform, you can put the profit target in. We are talking, what's up 6% at the moment at 78, so I need another $1.50.
I think we'd wait till the market opens there, mate. I wouldn't do anything now.
Why not have a limit in if you think it's only...
Oh, a limit, sure, yeah, cool, good idea. Good idea.
Right, 79.20, you can see me putting that in there, so I will sell CoreWeave at 79, actually let's go a little bit lower, 79.11. I know David Boyce always tries to go in a couple of cents.
He loves it, doesn't he?
79.11, we are in to sell that position from yesterday. Plug, any
yeah, I want to get back involved. Where are we? But I'm going to wait for the open, and I'm going to hope for the usual standard procedure after a 25% rally, which is like a 3, 4, 5 if I'm lucky. If I see this down 5% on the open, I'm buying it with both hands.
Anywhere to take profit on that? 260?
Yeah, but the thing is, I might let this run today. I think this has got another push in it. I really do, it's just I'm a bit of a dick for a tick, which is actually
I'm going at 258 because, as we always know, they get flipped up in the air
to sell it. Yeah. I mean that would be a nice trade, right?
Yeah.
What's your entry?
205.
Oh no, sorry, we've still got it. I thought you meant to buy more. Gotcha. Yeah, no. Yeah, fair enough. And I'm in my book. I took profits yesterday up when it was up 27.5%. So, and I'm going to buy it back on the open, hopefully lower. That's my plan.
So you actually got out of it?
I took profits. I mean, I was very happy. I made 60 grand. And I sold it on the highs. It faded through 4% from where I sold it. So I'm happy about that.
Right, Nike was another one I bought yesterday. Did I buy that in the show or after the show?
You did, yeah.
Yes. So Nike we are long 200 shares of Nike, picking them up at 59.46 and putting a limit in there at 64 because 64 is where I think they should be. So I'm happy with that. Right, we've got about 9 minutes till the US Open. I think that updates you on all the stuff that we did overnight. I've got the short on oil.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oil. Has that just gone down since we've been on air?
It was down 1% when we got on the show.
Sorry, yeah, still down 1%.
It's actually higher than when we got on the show by 60 basis points. Oh, by the way, we need to talk about MicroStrategy, mate. I know that we don't really want to talk about it.
No, but, well, majorly we need to highlight that Bitcoin's up 5.5%.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
71,500. That leads us on to strategy. Talk to me.
Yeah, so again, guys, we need to categorize. Whenever you're trading a stock or whenever we're talking about a stock, it's important to categorize it, right? This is in the category of why I've got MicroStrategy in the book, a very small position. It's about 1.7% of the book, so I can take that up to 4 max, but it's a highly speculative stock. It's got a lot of bad things going for it, but I've taken the view. I've been watching the price action. It's been basing. It's been trying to sell off and then being lifted every single time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times now. And on top of that, I have a view that the world of positioning, which is, if you ask me about positioning, it's always the most important thing. And right now we're seeing a shake-up of positioning. We're seeing crowded stuff being sold, and we're seeing unloved stuff rallying. And I can give you multiple examples. This is obviously a different kettle of fish, but it still massively fits into the category, if not the highest in that category, of hated in the doldrums, and if in this case shorted stocks. Let me just get the short interest of MicroStrategy for you. Give me 2 secs. I'll get this for you.
Yeah, because if people think...
it's speculative, but I want to be long.
See, but this is my problem: is that there is a potential World War III going on. Yeah. So no matter what we think,
that might help that if the market decides, which is that it wants to call Bitcoin gold again, it might actually help them.
If it decides that.
And by the way, would you put it past the market to suddenly change?
No, not at all. But putting risk on, I don't know why we're advocating putting risk on when any headline can hit the tape.
Agreed, but I'm putting risk on in places that are unmarket correlated, and so things like I have had stocks in my book that have been up 2 to 3% when the market's been down 2.5% for 3 days running.
That's what we're always looking for.
That is what we're looking for. So when I say I'm going long stuff, it has to come with a definition of what it is.
But you've taken your hedges off now, right?
Hey, to a degree. I've still got a small S&P ETF short and a QQQ. Yeah, my book is, and I've got a short Johnson & Johnson, which is that's kind of slightly off piece, but if you add up my shorts, it's 4 million, 0.2, and if you add up the longs, it's 5.5, so it's net long. But again, the book is long things that are defensive and going up, so it's like today, for a good example, Diageo is green, Novo's up 5,
we bought
Illuma's going to be up today. It's just, the book is positioned, it's very unmarket correlated. Things like Oracle are completely exhausted to the downside, and they keep outperforming.
My book is very market correlated.
Yeah, because you're a market guy.
We were down £2,000 yesterday as the show finished. 2,000, and we're now up 3. But that doesn't tell the real story because I have taken off one of the losers, so our capital's dropped. So I'd say we're probably relative to where we are yet. We're relative to where we were yesterday. We're up about 1,000, which means it's had a £3,000 turnaround from being down 2 grand to up 1 grand. So far so good. Everything is working, but that's because the market's rallied. The market rallying, volatility coming down, is really helping this book. And I just have to be aware of that. So like you, I'm short the S&P 500. I'm short £10 a point of that. But if we got a really negative headline and we sold off hard, these profits would evaporate very quickly.
Yeah, but again, I think it's a really interesting market. The only thing that would stop a load of stuff being green today, and the things that there's plenty of stuff that's going to be green. The only thing that would stop that is if we saw a rocket go into a nuclear leak, a rocket into it's going to a massive spike in oil. But even then, there are so many. It would take a really massive disaster for loads of stuff to not be green today, in my opinion. And that's the difference between you.
Stop tempting fate.
But that's the difference between you and me, man. You're very market correlated, and your book has got that, and I've got loads of stuff that's off piste.
Yeah,
massive
off piste. But that is real high.
You
risk.
try and keep Poet and Illuma and these stocks down on a day. Give me one good reason why those stocks will go down.
Stop making me want them to go down.
Well, I hope they go down because I'll buy more, but I doubt they're going to go down.
Sounds like the guy trading Bear Stearns in the movie The Big Short.
Yeah.
I hope they go down because I'll buy more.
Yeah, well, listen, it's a strange market, mate, but it's certainly not uniform, and there's certainly not blanket selling going on. There's rotations going on.
Yes.
And there's plenty of green, plenty of red, and it's all quite fascinating. One of the most fascinating things that's happened today is Aiden, which went down the straight line for no reason, and the only thing I can come up with was a fat finger.
Well, they're PMCE services asking any Aiden news yet.
Well, there we go. No, and the answer to that question is no, zero. So it must have been a fat finger. Who knows what it was, but there's no news. So obviously, but it's just hovering around. Anyway, we need to get ready for the Open soon, don't we, Richie?
Yes, we do, sir. So we've got 3 minutes to the Open. We're going to take a quick 90-second break. Join us as we'll be watching. Is it going to be the same as yesterday? Are we going to see a sell-off, or what is going to happen? The excitement is yet to come. We'll see you in 90 seconds.
See you guys for the Open in a minute.
Right, we're back. We've got 30 seconds till the market open. And what have we still got coming up? Well, we've got the Open. We've got a preview of Broadcom numbers, which are tonight. We'll be talking about that near the end of the show. And we are going to talk about him, hers, and Novos. So that's all coming up. But in 19 seconds time, we get...
Yeah, we're going to do some trading here, guys. Let's saddle up for the open.
Hey guys. Right, we got the poll results. When do we see the end of the conflict in the Middle East? End of March gets 49%. Half of you think it is going to be another few weeks yet. Nobody thinks it's over in the next 48 hours.
Here we go. Let's do it, mate. Right, we are off and we are running. Let's see what's going on here. We've got Core Weave. Strategy up. Look at strategy, you little beauty.
Come on, Core Weave.
Question is, when do I buy more?
We're in at 79.20.
Plug power, come back to me.
Is that right? 79.20 to sell Core Weave? I want to hear my notification from IG telling me I've sold that one. Moderna up 10. What's going on?
Moderna's in the middle of a short squeeze as well. And last night, this is actually extraordinary that it's up 11%. This market's very squeezy, Richie. So what's going on? Moderna settled a settlement, and this is a classic example of a company paying someone $2.5 billion to settle a settlement. I'm not joking about that. And the market saying that's fine because it's priced in now. And the stock's now up 14%. Have they raised their guidance? Have they won the lottery? Have they done anything? No, they simply cleared. They've just cleared the decks.
Right, let's go through the other movers. Micron up 4, 394. Where was it trading at its highest? 445?
It got up to 463, something like that. I need to double check that.
Making up numbers.
Intel making things up.
44. Intel's down at 44.
Oracle, what a beauty.
Tesla back to 400, stuck there. Caterpillar 740 up 2.5. There is some strength. The airlines. Why didn't we buy the airlines on air yesterday?
Because we sold oil. Simple? It's the same thing. We sold oil. Did you sell enough of it?
Yeah, but we could have bought airlines.
Same thing.
If you think this is going to be over in a few weeks, all of you, 49% of you saying it's going to be over in a few weeks,
mate.
Why not buy airlines?
Personally, I don't like trading airlines. I prefer to just keep it real simple and sell oil.
Right, Oracle up 2% at 152 of your finest dollars.
Yo, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. So listen, it's a very squeezy, punchy open in many regards, and quite frankly, where I'm just trying to get a grip of.
Should we see who the losers are, Piers?
Some of these things here. Yeah, let's have a look at the losers. That'll be interesting.
Uber down 1.1. Coca-Cola down 90 basis points. A few of the defensives there. Johnson & Johnson. You were trading Johnson & Johnson, right?
I am. Is that down?
Yeah.
Defensives. And why am I short Johnson & Johnson? I'll give you a wild guess.
Because it's
just one guess.
Because it's crowded.
Well, crowded, parabolic, and defensive. And if I think the war's going to come to an end, then that's probably going to help that one out too. So
I don't need my contact lenses, even though.
Anyway, I've got quite a big short in that, so happy days. Anyway, we're just cruising along there. Listen, I don't like trading the open very much, by the way.
Say one thing.
Go.
You say you've got quite a big short on that.
In my book that I run.
Position size. You can go bigger in stocks that don't move as much.
Let me be very clear about what I mean by that. So some people manage a book with 100 positions in it, and each position is 1%. Very old school, long only diversified portfolios. Some people manage a book with 10 positions in it. Some people have a very high octane trading book. I live by the rules of trading and position sizing, but my book on a beta adjusted basis is quite spicy. So but the largest percentage I will have in a position ever is about 15%. And that's a very high conviction, very high quality company.
My friend, would you look at that plug power up 8%?
Yeah, that's
Piers.
That's cruising. I'm looking forward to it coming back a little bit.
I tell you what, you've only gone and blown the bloody doors off on that one.
Yeah.
205, we bought this stock yesterday. It's up 15%.
Richie loves that, by the way.
Let us know in the comments if you got some as well. There's nothing I like more than this idiot sitting opposite me making me money.
Novo Nordisk, I've got a big, my book's, it's really cooking with gas, which is a great feeling. It's a great feeling.
We actually had a bit of a barbecue at the weekend. Talk about cooking with gas.
Barbecue, mate. It's bloody middle of winter.
In March. Punchy, isn't it?
Extraordinary stuff.
Okay,
cool.
Thank you to Dom out there, cooking with gas.
Which is so good in the jokes department. Listen, I'm scared to tell you about this trade that I'm doing at the moment, but can I? Because you're gonna freak out. You're gonna interrupt me.
No, this is going to be a high risk one, is it?
It's a very high risk one, but maybe we'll just leave it.
Right, let's just put the health warning on first, please.
But it's not like I don't have a good history of getting these right, mate.
Oh no, he's done it.
Plug Power is about as frisky as you can get. Look at this pony. Anyway, I hope it's
Moderna has just been absolutely
good.
smashed.
Good. No, but don't trade Moderna, anyone, guys, unless you know
11
exactly what you're doing.
But up 11 to up 4? What's happened? Has the market come off
No,
here?
it's nothing, mate. It's Moderna. Did I not tell you that the news is nothing exciting? This is in the middle of a short squeeze. They desperately need to convert cancer. At the moment, they're living on a hope and a dream, which is. And listen, they've got a lot of potential, but until they tell us that they're going to make any money out of cancer, it's a short squeeze situation. And by definition, that price action is all over the shop. So what have we got? CoreWeave fading. I'll get out of that, mate. I don't want anything to do with that stock.
Right, I'll put a stop as well on. So we've got a take profit at 79.11. Wasn't that far away, was it? It got 30 cents.
Up again.
Let's set a limit. I mean, look, it was a little bit of a lucky one. So I'm going to put a limit on 75.65. 75.65. We are to get stopped out on that. It's about $1.20 away as it is. Market is selling off. Market traded 6,840. Now it is straight lining down to 6,828.
I'm selling another clip of that thing, which I'm not going to tell you about, as I'm not allowed to, but I'm going to.
Right. Oh, there's my estate agent calling. Sorry, I've managed to get a place. Thanks for asking how the big move went this morning.
Well, how did it go? I'm knowing you've got about 9 staff doing it for you, but you're not really driving the truck yourself, are you, pal?
Bye.
You're such a muppet. It's unbelievable.
It's the best.
When I move house, which is regularly, I do it myself. Actually, we've obviously got, but it's blood, sweat, and tears, mate.
Mr. Harry, great question. Is anything happening of interest in the FTSE? Let's see what the big FTSE movers are today. Aberdeen recovering some of the losses from yesterday. Imperial Brands up. Rolls-Royce, big move actually, 1340. That's recovering with the airlines. What else have we got? The miners up 2. That's Antofagasta. Even Tesco up 1. So yeah, FTSE having a decent day. AstraZeneca up 1. Rio Tinto up 1.3. SSE up 1.3. Your Diageo is up about 1% somewhere there, I think.
Finding its feet ever so gently.
Any losers? We have Vistry down 21%. If anybody in the comments can help me.
Do you know what? It's not often you'll hear me say this, Mo. Oh, is this the UK company? That's why I've got no idea what it is.
They changed. They were called something else. Okay. Now they are called Vistry. What else is down? Down about 1%. Relics is down. Shell. But in Europe, let's have a look at Adidas there. Adidas down 5. I'm assuming that must be from numbers, is it? Because I didn't see why Adidas was down this morning. Vistry, of course, thank you, James, in the studio. Vistry was Bovis. Yes, there we go. Adidas posting weak numbers this morning. That's why it is down 5%. We've been talking about that for months. 6 months ago, we both put our feet up on air, and I said, your Adidas looked terrible. So boring. You have not come out with anything new for months, and it was dead. The whole brand it needs a new shoe, a new look.
I haven't looked at the Adidas stock. What's it doing?
Adidas is down on bad profit.
Yeah, and listen, I've never told you I want to own the Adidas stock. I just sort of like the shoes. Right, this market is
hang on,
really
let's just
exciting.
have a look at this thing.
Why did you say Diageo was up 1%? It's down 50 basis points.
Oh, has it gone down now? Look at Adidas since February of last year. Look at that. It is a perfect short. Appreciate that.
And by the way,
that's because Samba is dead.
That is a really bearish chart, isn't it? It looks like Diageo, but not quite as bad.
Yeah, because Samba, Campus, they all look the same. Come on, Adidas. Right. It is 2:40 p.m. people. What are you trading? Do not be afraid to tell me.
Iran denies intelligence ministry that the intelligence ministry reached out to the CIA for talks. James Dalton, thank you for that bit of news, mate. I love you. So as we have already pointed out in this, and that's probably got something to do with the price action in the market, I would imagine. Every single comment that comes from Trump, the New York Times, the Washington Post, Pete Hegseth, the Iranians, the Israelis. When it comes into my brain, I say there's probably a 40% chance that that's accurate.
Yeah.
And I combine that with the price action and what I think is going to happen in a few days' time, and I try and figure out how to trade. That's
Fair.
my thought process.
All fair. I'm actually relieved Nike's not down more on those terrible Adidas results.
The only question we have to ask ourselves today, matey, is what have we got? What do you got an S&P hedge, do you? That's fine. I just can't be bothered with the idiosyncratic risk of shorting stocks today, apart from the spicy thing that we'll not go mention on the show. I just want to stick to the indexes and the ETFs. It just makes hedging the book so much less stressful.
Yep.
Because I can't be bothered with just picking the right stock today. I've made some good money out of the shorts and SanDisk and whatever. Quite happy to just keep the QQQ and the SPX and just
let it run.
Keep it simple.
Right, so let's go on to Broadcom then, because Broadcom have got numbers tonight. We're actually going to have something to move this market apart from what's happening in the Middle East.
Yeah, so listen, let's talk about Broadcom. Of course, and this company rather, they report last in the big cap space, and they don't get talked about nearly as much as they should, in my opinion. They are a 1.6. Bear with me, the latest. Just bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. We're just going to give you the. I just want to give you the actual latest market cap of Broadcom, which is $1.48 billion. Now, that's a big, trillion dollars, rather. $1.48 trillion is the market cap of Broadcom. Now, that makes them not only Mag 7 size, but bigger than a couple of the Mag 7 companies, or one of the Mag 7 companies. So the bottom line is, not only are they massive and a big index weight, but they're also, they're up there punching and fighting toe to toe with the big boys. And so therefore Mag 7, which that acronym's somewhat redundant anyway, but they're important. Yeah. The point of my story is that they're very important. They report tonight after market. The market's looking for 27% revenue growth, 29% earnings growth. Let's put this in perspective. For that, you're paying 27 times forward earnings. Let's put that in perspective with NVIDIA. NVIDIA have just delivered 68% bottom line growth, right? That is crazy good. But what are you paying? Let me just quickly give you the number. So for NVIDIA, you've got a 68% bottom line EPS growth, and you're paying. This is why you need to be long NVIDIA. This is that you're paying 22 times forward for that.
It's not 22 times forward. That's not right.
That is the number.
It's not 22 times.
It's the number that Bloomberg are giving us, mate.
Well, Bloomberg's wrong. Telling you. What's the estimate? Tell me the EPS estimate, and I'll show you why it's
The
wrong.
way you've just come into that. So can we?
There's no way NVIDIA's on 22 times earning. You're mad.
Forward earnings.
Yeah.
Did you hear the guidance the other day?
Yes. It's not on 22 times.
We'll get back to that in 1 second. The point of this is that these guys are fighting toe to toe with Broadcom, and also, by the way, these guys. If you want to talk about Marvell, of course, these in terms of the custom.
We haven't spoken about that one for a while.
These guys are right in there with the custom chips, rather. And the bottom line is that they don't have the same ability to move the market as NVIDIA do, and the reason for that being. There's two things. There's the sentimental value of NVIDIA. Of course, NVIDIA are a much bigger company with much more clout on both the capex side and, of course, the read on the demand side. But NVIDIA are important. I mean, Broadcom are important. If they, are they going to be able to make a massive impact to the market if they have a shocking guidance of some kind tonight? It'll probably send some ripples throughout the AI space for sure. But it's not going to be a massive game changer. But it is interesting to see, and it's certainly one of the best companies. What will be most interesting to see is because these guys are not a capex spender, unlike the other guys. They're a capex receiver.
Yeah.
And that is why they're
from Google.
Arguably, they're a bit more expensive than NVIDIA, but they're arguably on a growth-adjusted basis. But they are arguably the best way to play large cap AI capex in terms of the chips. In terms of the modem chips, and they've actually got a diversified portfolio.
Screen up.
But some would argue that this is the #1 chip company in the world to own, and it's hard to argue with that, right? They just don't get enough headlines, in my opinion. But what they do tonight will be very interesting to hear what they've got to say. So we'll tune in for that one.
Let's look at the big names then. What there's in Netflix 99. You called it yesterday, Piers. You called it yesterday. That is going at a very quick rate towards 100, even though there's nothing on Netflix just now. I had a quick flick on that last night. There was nothing.
No, it depends. Netflix is a bit hit and miss for me because if you're bored and you've run out of content, you can always go and find something that's about a 6.5 out of 10. And if you like, but ultimately I don't spend a lot of time on Netflix. If only Taylor Sheridan made every single show on the planet, I'd just watch that, and that's on Paramount. But
oh, really?
Yeah, but it's a difficult one. But you've got to remember that Netflix is a high quality company. They've just shown a lot of financial discipline. They got sold off aggressively. They are a Mag 7 name, so the market is reversing a lot of negative sentiment very quickly, and that can of course. And the other thing is they're dodging the AI capex bullet, and their business is kind of not economically sensitive. So there's a lot of pluses.
What catches your eye on this screen here? So we've got
just trying to figure that out.
Oh, the big
fading a lot is what there's a hell of a lot of fading going.
No, sorry, what we've got on screen at the moment. So
that screen, yeah.
So Marvell's right at the bottom.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the things that grab my attention on that screen are the same things that have been fighting their way higher over the last few days. And that's Oracle, Palantir, it's the IGV software ETF. Today's a little bit mixed because, of course, the semis are having a crack at it. But look at that screen. I mean, Alphabet's completely lost its bid.
Yeah.
Right. And again, you don't ask me why that is. You probably know the answer. Guess what? It's very crowded.
Very, very crowded.
And that's why it's getting the crowded treatment.
Do people go back to the same names when?
Yes, but
get Cam in them. So
after you see the uncrowding thing, yeah, it's such a good question, and the answer to that question is it's not as quick as you think. In my it can be. This is not a science, but in my experience, when you see crowding to the levels that we've seen, Google's less so than some of these other names, but nonetheless, just remember how crazily overweight everyone is at Google, right? And so when that turns, it does, it doesn't just get turned back on again. People move their attention to other parts of the market.
Walmart's really lost its bid as well, hasn't it? Right. So we've got about 8 minutes left.
Oracle's fighting its way higher, which is nice to see, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'll look at re-look at these. Futures markets here. Yeah, it tried to go lower, doesn't it? But it's on the back of the headline that Piers announced there about the Iranian denying that they begged for mercy. Obviously, it's going to.
But again, these headlines just go in one ear and out the other, mate.
You wanted to speak about AAOI. What on earth is
well,
that?
the thing is, but not with that attitude there, Rich. If you want to hear what I've got to say about this company, you'll probably, by the time I finish speaking, you'll want to short it yourself.
Oh, short it? Oh, I'm up for shorting.
Yeah, it's a short, mate. Have you even looked at it?
Applied Optoelectronics.
Look at it, mate.
My goodness.
Zoom that chart out, pal.
What is going on here?
Right?
What do they do?
Okay.
Go on.
So these guys are part of the fiber optics photonic space. The market has moved its attention from quantum to AI to robotics to nuclear to space to satellites, and now we're on to photonics and fiber optics. And every single name is being bid up massively. The most famous is Lumentum and Coherent, and there's plenty of other sort of second tier names. This is a big one. These guys are fiber optics. They had a big earnings guidance upgrade where they're predicting their first ever annual $1 billion revenue target. But let's look at the numbers and let's look where the market are, right? The best that the analysts can come up with is $75 price target. It's trading at 95. These are guys who have raised their targets quite a few times. Number two is it's trading on an RSI of 80. Number three, they have no profits anywhere to be seen until at least 2 years from now. Number three, they are trading on 20 times sales with nowhere near enough revenue growth to quantify that. If you put it all into the basket, it's a highly speculative, little short-term shorting idea for me. And I sold a little bit last night. I sold one more clip just then, and I've probably got 2 more clips to go. And I'll trade it back to maybe 80, if I can. It's not for you, mate. That's why I'm not even bothering talking to you. It's not, you wouldn't like it, which means it'll go down 20% tomorrow morning.
It's a good hedge against my illusion.
I'm watching this market fight, by the way.
There's a real
battles.
tug of war
There's battles
going on.
everywhere you look. And semiconductors. Can I answer the question that was asked in my community, which is probably interesting for everyone?
How about I pose the question?
Okay, you asked me, what's the story between software and semis today?
I would say, Piers, last week you highlighted an incredible trade of buying software and selling semis.
Yes.
Ever since then, the trade's worked. And software's gone up and semis have gone down.
Yes.
Do you think it continues to work?
Gosh, that's a good question. I think that it's very unusual that you get a macro pair trade like that works so cleanly. I can't even remember the last time one had, because you got to remember that yesterday we had software up 2.5 and semis down 3. That's 5.5% gain on a hedge spread trade, so pair trade rather. So obviously today semiconductors are trying to have a go, and the software guys are trying to have a go too. So it's kind of head to head. Where is the IGV? So semiconductor ETF is up 90 basis points. And the IGV, which I'm right there,
up 40.
So quite frankly, IGV's, so it's kind of head to head today, which is pretty impressive for IGV if you consider the outperformance. So today's like a bit of a nothing day. AMD, Nvidia, they're trying to have a go. Oracle's trying to have a go. It's a bit of fadey. It's fadey. I just think it's a market to be very active. Unfortunately, there's lots of trading to be done. Some of the names I've got in the book are not trading at all. Diageo, Novo, PayPal, Oracle. I'm not trading them at all. They're just sitting there. I'm happy with the levels. I'm happy about the downside risk. Other things are more sort of actively traded. But I'm not expecting any massive rally in this market. We need to have a very clear conclusion to what's going on in Iran, which is incredibly unlikely today or tomorrow or even this week. So we might get it, but
49% of our viewers have told you when it's going to be. It's going to be the end of the month.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So and great, but I don't. In terms of trading, I don't. You can trade as long as you've got your eyes on the screen and you know what you're doing. You can pretty much. There's always trades. Right. What's DraftKings doing today? That's another one. Look, it's up 2.5%. Okay, that's a beautiful example of something that just does not care about the tape. I did ask you to buy this 7% lower. Are we going to buy it?
No.
No? Okay. That then.
God, I'm so glad. So
boring. If I told him, if I said, can we buy GlaxoSmithKline? You'd be like, yes, let's get that in, please, now.
So as I've mentioned yesterday and today, I am moving out my apartment. I actually have to rush away in 8 minutes and let the checkout people come and make sure that I haven't done anything to the sofa.
Okay, that sounds
there may be a
bizarre.
An ink stain.
Look at these software ETFs. By the way, can we just be clear about something, guys? So the software ETF is now up 90 basis points, and the semiconductor, so it's 1 for 1. Market's trying to lift. This market wants to go higher, Rich. It just desperately, software, semis, it's going to be high.
I'm so glad I'm not moving in with you. So basically, I've got 3 weeks until I move into my new apartment, right? I couldn't get it for 3 weeks, 23rd of March.
That's quite, yeah.
So I'm moving in with a girlfriend.
Yeah.
And not with you, thank God. Even though you offered, it's a very kind friend for me to move in with.
No, I think we'd kill each other, mate.
I think we'd kill each other.
That's fine. It's not meant to be. Especially telling stories like that to me every night. I'd be exhausting.
Right. Oh no, because Jacob's your favourite, isn't it? Jacob.
Oh yeah, sure. Oh yeah, his stories are really great. Jacob does come and sleepovers at my place.
Daniel's asking, has Rich had a margin call that he's had to move out of his flat?
Classic. No, he's far too sensible for that, guys. He doesn't do that stuff. Right. Well, anyway, so that's good. So, we're
why are you short Johnson & Johnson? Lord Maxter 21 is asking.
Okay. Well, do you know what? I'm going to get. It's a similar answer to when someone said to me, "Why are you short?" I try to identify situations like this where a stock has gone parabolic. Everyone in the world loves it. Mm-hmm. We all know that. We all know why they love it. And it gets to a certain point where after, and obviously my eyes are experienced eyes. I've seen it a million times before, so I know what to look for. I know what it feels like to me when I consider all the variables.
Agreed.
And to me, I look at a stock like Johnson & Johnson. It came across I actually hadn't looked at it for quite a time. And I brought the chart up, and I looked at it, and I thought, and it's hard to explain. And every single thing in my head just went, that is a gimme. That's a gimme short, and it's a gimme short because I'm only looking to make 5% out of it, and it might turn into more, depending on how things go. If the world suddenly gets great again, the defensive stuff will get sold. But
look at the analyst target, 244. Where's the stock trading? 244.
Yeah. So
that tells you everything.
That does. I wouldn't mind if the stock was trading at 264, but I'll take it. But the point being is that this stock is exhausted to the upside. It's technically was overbought. The market has rotated aggressively into consumer staples and defensive, some of which have been significantly more aggressive than others. Johnson & Johnson being one of those.
Here's your other one.
And you know,
exactly the same chart.
And it's to me, it's just a low stress position. Like even if it goes up 3% more, I'll just sell more. And if I'm wrong, I'll stop myself out. But so far, it's just cruising.
So, Mr. Maxter in the chat, this is what you call a funding trade, right? When you need a short, when you need something to fund your long positions, then this is a funding trade, right? It's like being short the FTSE is a bit of a funding
that's exactly.
trade.
That's a good thing to explain.
Low volatility and limited room for upside. It's not going to get bid for. They're not going to raise guidance suddenly. You don't just suddenly, buy more. What are the ear things? Baby oil. Contact lenses.
Yeah, I mean, they make all the things that we all use in our lives every day, and they've got loads of free cash flow, and they're cheap as chips, and that's what. But the market's rotated into that stuff, you ask a fund manager why they're buying Johnson & Johnson, the answer's not going to be because their business is on fire. It's because they've rotated into defensive stocks. That's it. So
yeah, and they're just hiding.
They just and to me, when I see a stock that's Johnson & Johnson that looks like it's a rocket ship, and it's overbought, I just love situations like that because everyone else looks at that chart and goes, "Oh, that looks great. I'll buy that." So it's a double win if it works.
Talk about looking at charts. Plug Power looking all right because it came off.
Look at DraftKings, by the way. What a beautiful stock that is, mate.
Plug Power came off, but it's gone straight back up again to the.
Bugger, I missed it, mate. Because I was talking to you. God damn it. Where did it get down to? Look how much that's holding in there. Keep in mind that this stock, if they turn a profit, which they've guided us that they're going to do, should be at 5 or 6.
Why have there not been upgrades?
Because do you know what my ultimate answer to that question is? That first of all, the analysts will wait until the price action is confirmed because they upgrade on price action these days.
But they've guided.
JP Morgan said what you all said, all you need to hear. But they have. But the market is scared of its own shadow when it comes to this stock. So and quite frankly, they run themselves round in circles.
But you could get quite a nice upgrade here at some point, couldn't you?
Can I just highlight what happens when the market does get excited about this? Last time that this stock had a big short squeeze, and they told us that the hydrogen bill in the US, the regulatory environment improved for them, their balance sheet improved, all these things happened. The stock had a massive short squeeze, and who was it? Canaccord, whoever, I forget who it was, came out and said, $6 a share. There were some big upgrades for this thing.
Yeah.
But people are a bit scared to put their neck out, I think, mate.
Talking about putting your neck out, can you please give us a like on the YouTube there? Give us that big thumbs up
by the way,
down under your screen.
It'd be worth noting that the one stock that I thought had no chance of being, good old Illumas. I'm going to buy some more Illuma, by the way, because it's nicely red today. Interesting take. These large cap tech stocks, and I'm going to point out Oracle because it's leading the pack on my Mag 7 screen. Sorry, apart from Amazon. Wow, Amazon's having a big day. Most of these guys, apart from, it's a slightly risk-on day today, right? Apple's red because they're defensive. We discussed Google. Shopify's up big. It's a little bit of a risk-on. It can build itself, right? The market is completely ignoring what's coming out of the Middle East. In terms of that last headline, anyway.
Yep.
As it should do, really.
Good stuff. Right, what are you up to? Because Of course, we only do Tuesdays, Wednesdays. We're trying to extend that. We both want to do another day. IG want us to do another day. So we're trying to
Just to be
get
crystal
that
clear,
sorted.
sorry, the software ETF is now outperforming the semiconductor ETF by 50 basis points. Get in.
If anybody wonders what he's like off camera, he's just as
We're
boring.
making money, baby. Is that not good?
What are you up to before next Tuesday, before we're back on air?
I am nothing special, mate. I mean, I've just been thrown a curveball, but I've got to move house as well, similar to you. Yeah, nothing.
Got some good moving people if you want.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Man,
There's no way I can afford your moving people. I'm going to probably touch. This market's getting a little bit algo-y. And that means that
Spicy.
we're starting to see algorithms buy this.
Because
Hang on, is there a headline? Wait. Is there a headline?
It's ticking really quick, isn't it?
There must be a headline. Oil's come off again.
I don't think there is.
Is there not? That means that no, mate, the algos are going through this market quick. So either that means that the algos are just doing that, or we've got some news that just hit.
It looks like.
Look at it.
The reason we see this is because it sounds silly, I know.
Hard to explain.
But when you've watched it that long,
Yeah.
when you see something tick, 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 it really quick.
Yeah, and it starts
It's
your screen's-
ISM. Thank you, Daniel. It's
See,
the
there we go. I
ISM
told you.
number.
That was an algorithm hitting the tape. I've seen it 4 million times. Gosh, it's almost. Should we close our eyes and see what we can do it? We can probably do it.
On that note, we shall see you. It has been an absolute pleasure. Before we go, please give us a thumbs up on the page there, because it would be great to see how many we can get. Piers, it's been a pleasure as always.
Yeah, mate. So I love doing this show with you, man. I hope we've got lots of people listening to it. And by the way, AAOI is now down 4% from where I sold that clip. So we'll take that one.
If anybody wants to write in and tell us how much they enjoy the show, it is james.ovenden@ig.com. That's james.ovenden@ig.com. He is the head of content and therefore responsible for this show. And we would love you to tell him how much you love it. So thank you very much. That would be much appreciated. Piers, enjoy. Have a good weekend. You all have a good weekend.
Peace, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Big up.